So here we are with Season 2, Episode 2 of Quantum Leap. And here I am with my review for you. It's 1986, Tucson, Arizona, and a bank heist is taking place. Ben is dropped dead center into it. Let's find out if this episode is any good. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome to my review for Quantum Leap, the new Quantum Leap series, Season 2 we're on, and this is Episode 2 entitled Ben and Teller, which is obviously a play on words, a play on the magician duo Penn and Teller, only this episode has nothing to do with magic, no. Ben leaps into the body of Lorena Chavez, a 70-year-old grandmother who is a bank teller in a bank in Tucson, Arizona in 1986, and the bank is getting robbed. The bank is getting robbed and Ben is there to save the day. So yeah, this episode here, what can I say? Well, the first episode of this season wasn't very well received by many a person because we found out nothing about what has happened after the events of Season 1, that what looked like someone leaping back through into the imaging, or into the chamber, shall we say, not the imaging chamber. So people were left a bit dismayed that it gave us no answers. It done that on purpose to make sure we came back for this episode here. So like I said, so Ben is in this body of Lorena Chavez, and he has a colleague in the bank by the name of Rebecca, and these individuals that are robbing the bank, one of them is actually Rebecca's brother, younger brother. His name is Sean. Now in the original timeline of these events, 8 people died and Ben has to prevent this from happening. So this episode here, we start off being introduced again to the team members of Quantum Leap, Magic et al, all of them. They all come together because Ben has been found. Ian has obviously found Ben. There's a little bit of intrigue there as well that comes into play. Addison herself, well, where's she? She's actually working for the FBI or something like that, training exercises with individuals, and she's with a fella called Tom Westfield who works for the Department of Defense, who she's working alongside. But not only that, he's introduced as her new love interest. Yes, 3 years have passed. 2 years, we find out, they carried on searching for Ben until the Quantum Leap project was shut down and a funeral took place for Ben in his absence. In these 3 years, she had to go through the trauma of that. She had to go through the trauma of loss and acceptance, and she has moved on into a new relationship with this fella who knows everything about Quantum Leap. So everyone comes back together into the Quantum Leap headquarters, where everything is shut down, but we come to find out that Ian has switched one little computer on to run in the background and to monitor for Ben, and this is how he's ultimately found him. So they all come together, but whilst there, during the events of this robbery, it looks like the place is going to be shut down again. Security come in to take them out. Only Tom Westfall steps in, and he's got a little bit of leverage with the FBI, et al., things like that, and he kind of saves the day, and we see an opening up of the Quantum Leap program again is going to take place. Essentially, this is the footsteps of that. So this episode here, is it any good? Well, this episode here highlights the flaws and strengths of this current series of Quantum Leap. A lot of the best stuff in this show is the stuff that is set in the sort of modern day timeline. The stuff that is going on in the headquarters amongst this element of people, not so much the leap and what happens in the leap. And what I mean by this is that now you have the character of Addison put into a different position, into a different place where there's a lot of raw emotion on display, and this is conveyed in her performance. You know, the actress who plays Addison, she does a very good job of what she's given, and you get a heartfelt reunion at the end with some truths coming out, and it's done very well, and the emotion on both actors' faces is wonderful. It really is. There's some good acting in the fray there. Unfortunately, the actual leaps themselves seem secondary to the primary, or to the modern day storyline. This is the stuff that you just want to skip past to get to what's really happening, and what's happening with these characters, what's happening with them trying to find him, the stuff with Sam, all this sort of a thing. Now, the problem is with the leap stuff is that every single episode puts Ben into an unrealistic situation. And what I mean by unrealistic, I mean bank robberies happen, yes, but what I mean by unrealistic is the fact that everything is kind of out there. It's not an everyday occurrence. It's not just normal people living normal lives. And this is what the original Quantum Leap used to give us. Yes, they'd done ones like this, of course they did, but then they'd done the subtle little stories, the everyday, every person, normal stories of normal people living normal lives with things happening within that life. Not some big extravagant, here we are with a bank robbery, here we are the week before with a military personnel on a plane crash, and by the teaser for next week's episode, here we are in Area 51. They're all scenarios that are not of real everyday life, and that there lies the problem. So you can't get overly invested, even though in this week's episode you had the story of this Rebecca and her younger brother, and her failing her younger brother, and by the end of it them sort of coming together and her stepping up to do what she'd done in the episode. You know, you got that small element of that story there, but you put it into this grandiose kind of fictitious, otherworldly, other life that normal people don't live kind of a story element, and it doesn't work for it. So the episode kind of drops the ball there, and a lot of these episodes drop the ball there. As an individual episode, it's fine, it works well. The story of the bank robbery, it works well, it's all very good, and it's a good scenario to put Ben into. But when you're doing these scenarios week after week after week after week, it becomes a bit monotonous, a bit tiring, a bit, you know, let's just have a normal character-driven story. That's what we want. So really, the strengths of this show play on those elements that are set in the modern day timeline of it. Now, at the end of the episode, it is revealed that Ian has been lying to the Quantum Leap team. For most of them anyway, but we don't know exactly what. We don't know the truth in how he found Ben yet. We know he's told them that his computer was left on, but there's more to it, and this is the other thing that this program feels that it needs to do, that it needs to lay these breadcrumbs at the end of every episode to try and lead you into the next episode. It's kind of like they feel that the program itself isn't a hold or isn't a draw for people to keep coming back week on week without having to lay some sort of a tease for another episode. And I'm not just meaning the tease of, oh, Ben's now leapt into this. I'm talking about a tease of something else. So every episode, essentially, you have two teases. You have a modern day tease, oh, something's going on, someone's doing something, there's a little bit of intrigue left there, and there's Ben with his leap. And to be honest, it's the intrigue of the modern day stuff, again, that is the draw to keep having people coming back, rather than Ben has leapt into this. So, yeah, but it was a decent, as a standalone episode, it was a decent episode. I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. I just want more subtle storytelling. I want it to take a step back and give us a character-focused story that just normal people like me and you can sit down and imagine we're in that scenario. That's what Quantum Leap used to do in abundance with strength, and that's what I sort of wish for this new series. But like I said, decent episode nonetheless, and I'll be back next week obviously for my next episode, so hit that subscribe button, come join the channel, but more importantly in the comments down below tell me your thoughts on this episode. Where do you think things are going to go in the future? What do you think's going to happen? What do you think Ian has really done? Has he really found Ben? Let me know your thoughts, because I'm no good at you know, coming up with ideas on what's going on. I'm bloody useless at that now. I really am, and I just watch the episode and give my thoughts on the episode. But you people out there, you have these theories and this sort of a thing, and I love reading those theories. So let me know down below, and I'll see you soon next week.